Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be covering the update on Dead Matter that was released on July 24th, covering the update on the roadblock to the closed alpha and the development that they have mentioned. So let's get into it. First of all, we finally have some light shed on the issue of the roadblock with the closed alpha. It turns out it was a legal issue holding back the release. Now, Dead Matter development team have been advised by their lawyer, or whoever they have, their legal team maybe, not to give away too much information, probably because it could harm the legal case if they do. But basically there was a trademark dispute in the game that's been going on for a while, and they've been working on not only solving that dispute but making sure nothing like that happens again, because that could mean that once they've released the alpha it has to be closed again and re-released, which would massively decrease the hype for the game and be very bad for the Dead Matter team in terms of making the money back and the time back that they put into the game. So what they've said is that that should take about a week to finish solving the issue and the roadblock completely, and then they'll be giving us not the closed alpha itself at the end of July like we thought, but we will be getting a countdown. My personal theory is that the countdown will probably be a 30-day timer, and we'll end up getting the closed alpha at the end of August instead of the end of July. Let's move on to development. In terms of development, they've continued working on bug fixes and traditional stuff leading up to the closed alpha. They now have the door barricades that I was mentioned in my last video, which is the chains on the door and the iron bar on the door, so you will be able to use them in the closed alpha for sure, as well as if they finish working on the key system for vehicles, so you now must have a key if you want to drive a vehicle, unless you're hot wiring it through the hot wiring mechanic that I have talked about in a previous video. Also, if you leave the key in the vehicle, another player can steal it, so you've got to remember, if you're looting or solving puzzles in an area, you've got to remember to take the key with you if you can, or if you care enough, to be honest. They've also developed the underwater system for the game, which is interesting. I don't know how much underwater areas there's actually going to be in this map. To the best of my knowledge, it doesn't have a coastal area, but I could be wrong about that. So it'll be interesting if there's a lake with loot at the bottom, or rivers and stuff. And also brings up the idea of, can zombies survive underwater? Will there be a specific kind of zombie that's underwater? Because I can imagine that being pretty scary, to be honest. Thirdly, then this is my favourite part of the update, barricades. So I made a theory last week that, when I was talking about power for bases, that something that might come in the future is electrified traps. And not to honk my own horn, guys, but I was right. So there are two basic traps that have been developed for player settlements. The first is a barbed wire trap. You can't craft these, you have to find barbed wire stacks in the environment and craft them into a barbed wire trap then. When players go through them, they take minor bleeding damage and they'll probably be slowed as well. However, they will not receive damage while standing still, so it's quite like the barbed wire in Rust, if you've ever played Rust. And the second trap is the electrified fence kit. People can electrify any and all metal fences that they build around their base as a perimeter or just as blockades, but only if their home is connected up to the power. Again, if you'd like to see how power works with bases, you can watch my last video, everything you need to know about bases in Dead Matter, but just in terms of actually getting the power to a fence, my theory is that there will be power stations that provide powers to specific areas of the map, and the areas they provide can be changed, and then probably also a secondary, more expensive system by which a player can have a generator, which would probably be oil fueled, that could also charge their fences if they wanted to. In terms of everything else, they've got zombie looting fully fleshed out now. There probably won't be much on zombies, but it's worth looting them at the beginning of the game, definitely an early game move. And also they've worked on rural areas of the map, such as a few farms, and then apart from that they've just worked on fleshing out the shooting mechanics, the reloading mechanics, and just making sure they look as smooth as possible so that you feel cool, you feel good, and you can have fun when you're running around the Dead Matter map shooting zombies. So that's my video, that's my cover of the latest update. I hope you liked it. If you did, please consider leaving a like or subscribing, as I'm still growing the channel. And if you have any suggestions on how I can improve the quality of my videos, or any topics you'd like to see me cover in the future, please comment them down below. I'll also be linking to my blog in the description, where you can find exclusive interviews with developers about their latest games. Thank you.